you do a business and the first year you get a loss. What will you do? You will again say, no, I'm still going to continue. Second year again continue. Loss. Third year, loss. Fourth year, loss. After 10 years, I don't want this. Enough. Because my business is not giving me results. But Bhagavan has been doing the cycle of creation, sustenance and dissolution all the time so that he can get few people like us to his feet. He tried once, loss. Second time, loss. Third time, loss. He did not get enough. He goes on. Until finally we get sick of this and go to his feet, it seems. In Daya Shatakam, Vedanta Desika Swami says this. Saying that Daya Devi is so tolerant that Bhagavan keeps on doing this creation again and again, even though we never look at his side at all, it seems. Finally, when we finally do Nama Sankirtana, we understand now we are caught in the grace net of Bhagavan. That's why we start the bhajan by saying Jaya Jaya, Naki, Ramana, Jaya Jaya. You are one finally, Bhagavan. I lost finally. So long you were the loser. Why? Because I never got caught in your clutches of your grace. I somehow managed. You tried catching me by various means, but I am cleverer than you. See, I know how to get rid of all these clutches. But finally you caught me. I am caught. Why? I am doing Nama Sankirtana. Now there is no escape for it. Now you close the door, there is no escape for all these people also. They are all caught in the grace net of the door. So that is what Kunti Devi is requesting. Vipataha santunas sashvat tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yasya apunarbhava darshanam. Whenever I had your darshana, when do I have your darshana, Krishna? Whenever I had problems, I say, Krishna, and you are there. And each time I had your darshana, I don't have apunarbhava darshana. I don't have to see another birth each time I see you. And I see you because I have a problem. See, that's the beauty of Kunti's, and that's why she is somewhere there. That's Bhakta's Hridaya. So Parikshit gave these 5 places. Janma, Aishwarya, Shrutashviyas. And Kali was very happy. So Kali is there in these 5 places. And unfortunately, Bhagavatam talks about, if you get a chance to be in satsang for half a second, don't miss it. If you have to be in a dussanga for half a second, avoid it. Shana sangena sadhushu. 1 second of sadhu sangha will do immense good. Even half a second of dussanga is very poisonous, be careful. And Parikshit unfortunately had to deal with Kali, which is asat sangha. It caught upon him. Remember, he gave the place for Kali in cruelty. As a ruler, he had to take care of the bugs in the forest. What do you call it? Hunting season. So he went on a hunting spree. And it was his duty. Yet it was cruelty, and Kali caught there. And after hunting for a long time, he became little tired, hungry, thirsty, hence very angry. Parikshit was a great sadhu, but even sadhus at times can slip, you see. So when he was searching, he found a beautiful ashrama. In that there was this great shade called Shanika. He was in the state of samadhi. Parikshit came there. And Parikshit started asking, Swami, give me something to drink. I am very thirsty. No answer. He shouted a little more. Now he is very angry. Hey! Don't you hear me? I want some water. Still he needs some water. Parikshit, now he is doing Vishab Pariksha. He wanted to examine whether this chap was really in Samadhi or he was faking it. Because we know this. When our uncle is in Gayatri Japa, they're doing can you please take the milk? We go into deeper samadhi the moment you ask something. So Parikshit thought he was doing something like that. So he said, see how Kali arranged everything for him. It was a dead snake, not even a live snake. Live snake would have just slipped fast, isn't it? Dead snake won't move at all. Now. Everything is arranged beautifully with Kali. Because Kali finally took revenge on Parikshit. So there was this dead snake. He took it from the corner of his bow and garlanded the sage Shanika. And he looked at him. unruffled, not even one little flinching, unflinching. At least then he should have taken a little kshamapana, forgiveness, taken this snake of no, he didn't, Kali's power. So he left, he rationalized. So what? His job is to give me water. But as he went closer and closer to his palace, he slowly started understanding what horrible deed he has done. Why? Shanasangi Sadhushu. He was there for half a second before Shamika is entered. So that started making him come back to his senses. He said, what have I done? I am supposed to protect the sadhus and I myself am insulting them, Krishna. As per our Sanatana Dharma, we don't want forgiveness for our sins. We tell Bhagavan, let me finish it off. Forgiveness is only for weak. Mahatma says, I want to face the consequence of my action. Parikshit was one such person. For normal people like us, let's forgive us for all our sins. We are not strong enough to face the implication of our own deeds in the past. Fine, not Parikshit. He looked up at Krishna and says, I want immediate result of this drastic deed I did. I want to experience and finish it off. So bless me with an act punishment for this horrible deed I did, because this little thorn in my heart is far more painful than the punishment which you may bestow me, Krishna. Any prayers never go unanswered. Bhagavan said, okay, fantastic. How did it happen? The little son of Shamika by the name Shringi, he heard that his father was insulted by a king. 6 years, 5 years old. Just 6 months of maybe Gayatri Japa he must have done. He had so much power in him, so much of Pitru Bhakti, that he took Kaushiki Nadi's water in his hand. Vakvajram Visasarja. He put a thunderbolt through the words, because the power of a Brahmana is in the words, not in the shoulders. Power of Kshatriya is in the shoulders. So he had so much of tapas in him, penance in him, that he just gave an implication. Right? A person who did this horrible act, let him die in 7 days. 7th day. And he only put an earthly snake, I will call a heavenly snake, Takshaka, to finish it. What do you think? How dare you play with us? Just because we look weak, you think you can play with us? Tapas. This news his father heard. Well done, my son. Would Shamika ever say that? He called his son and said, why did you do this? He is such a wonderful king. Just a momentary lapse of reason. And for that you have given a very irrevocable, horrible implication. My dear son, we are supposed to maintain tolerance. We are supposed to maintain acceptance. That's our dharma. Yet, what you have done is done. And since your words are true, it has to come to pass. So no problem. At least we will inform the king so that if you want to do prayaschitta, let him do. So they send a person. He is going to tell the king in front of his whole court that my Guru's son has given you a curse. How much tense and anxious he should be. Guru Bhaktras are never like that. He just walked majestically to the court. He told Maharaja, I have a news for you. And Maharaja folded his hands and said, what? I come from the ashram of Shamika. Stood up. My Guru Putra has given you an implication that you will die on the 7th day. I thought, our Guru thought it should be shared with you. I have done my job. Thank you, Radhe Radhe. He left back. That's it. For the first time, Parikshit smiled. And the courtiers were all in tears. He said, why are you crying? I am so happy. Why? Because I was concerned that this is something called sadhu aparacha, bhagavat apachara is something very dangerous. And Krishna has made it very light for me. 7 days, death, death has to come any day. And I'm fortunate in a sense that you all know date of birth. Do you know date of death? I know that. So I'm fortunate. And there is no guarantee, he told the courtiers, that you will return tomorrow. But me, I am going to be alive for 7 days. Because the Brahmana said 7th day, so I can't die on the 2nd day. So I am more fortunate than you. And I am counting myself fortunate because I have been given a deadline by Bhagavan to fulfill the purpose of life. Unless we have a deadline, we generally don't even start the most important activity of our life. It's always postponed. Bhagavatam says Bhagavatam is not a good retirement plan. You see, it has to be done right now. So Parikshit told people that purpose of life is Krishna Charana. I have done enough of all taking care of all you people. Now I am going to allow my little minor son Janamejaya to take over the kingdom. A council of vice ministers should guide him till he becomes a major and then he can take the rulership. Now I am going. He folded his hand and asked all his courtiers, tell me, how can I attain the purpose of life, which is Krishna Charana? What is the means? The courtier says the means are many, sir. The end is one. End is Krishna Charana. And one of them stood up and said, you can do Patanjali Yoga. What do I do? Start with Yamam, Niyamam, Asanam, Pranayamam, Pratyaharam, Dharanam, Dhyanam, Samadhi. It says 8 steps and I have only 7 days. Alam. I can't do it. It won't work for me. Somebody said you can do Atma Vichara. Go get on with your inquiry of who am I? And somehow find the Atma Swarupa, which is Krishna. He says, I have 7 days, there is no guarantee I will get it. Alam. Somebody said, do this yaga, do that prayaschitta. Alam, alam, alam. Enough. I shouldn't have asked you in the first place. I will repose my trust in Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And with the faith that if Krishna decides to protect me, who can stop him from protecting me? Brahmastra couldn't stop anybody from protecting me. When Krishna decided to protect me, he protected me. It's my own experience. If Krishna decides to forsake me, who can protect me? You see, that is the fundamental aspect of faith. If my Guru Maharaj decides to protect me, who can stop him? If he decides that I have to undergo this suffering, who can change it? In any yato, yata, tato, whatever you do with me, I am going to stick only with you. That is Dhrida Vairagya, Dhrida Vishwasa. And when somebody has that Vishwasa, will be forsaken. He left and sat in Ganga Tir, the banks of Ganga. And then lot of sadhus started coming around. He says, Parikshit Maharaj, you heard 7 days, he says, don't talk about me. Don't talk about my body life and all that. Gayata Vishnu Gada. Please sing Kirtans of Vishnu. And all these people were about to start Gopika Jivana Smaranam when the Guru, which was ordained for Parikshit, was Shukamuni. He just came unannounced, Atiti. Came and sat before Parikshit. The moment he came in, automatically everybody stood up. Such was his Brahma Tejas. He looked like 16-year-old person with flowing hair and not even a shred of cloth on him. Only the directions were his clothes. And he had these wonderful eyes which made everybody fall in love with that person. He came, sat before Parikshit and kept quiet, waited for his question. Because just like how we are ordained with the mother and father, the Acharya, the Guru is also ordained. We don't choose a Guru. That's the height of arrogance to think I chose him as my Guru. Guru is there to take care of our ego. So a Guru chooses us to be more right, to be more exact. Bhagavan chooses a Guru for us. A Guru merely picks us up. That's all. The choice is done by divinity. So for Parikshit, Shukamuni was the Guru. So Shukamuni came, sat down. Immediately Parikshit stood up, prostrated. Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam says. A Guru has to be Shrotriyam, which means he has to be adept in Vedas. Here, he is the son of Veda Vyasa himself. Brahmanishtam. Shukamuni was a Paramahamsa. So just experience is not enough for a Guru. Somebody might have been a realized person, but he cannot bring in realization to other people. See, somebody can be well versed in Vedas. Does not mean he can give us spiritual experience, because both needs to be there. Shrotriyam means he should be adept in Vedic knowledge. Brahmanishtam, he should also have Anubhava. Both are essential characteristics. There are many realized people in all cultures. Even in America, I'm sure some Americans are realized. They talk about a lot of Vedic truths, but they cannot give that experience to another person until they really are Shrotriyam and Brahmanishtam. Just because they have experience does not mean we can benefit from that. It's not possible. But Shukamuni had both, so he sat down before Parikshit. The moment he sat down, Parikshit folded his hand and said, I know the significance of what is happening here. Because if I take a photo of Vasishtha, Vishwamitra, put it in my puja room, offer a few flowers, the photo and actual worship of the photo itself purifies my house. What to talk about a living deity like you coming unannounced and sitting in front of me at the time when I needed this thing the most? How can I be more fortunate than this? Prostrate. And then Shukamuni smiled. And Parikshit asked him 6 questions. Always Bhagavatam 6 questions. Why? Bhagashabda has 6 aspects. Bhagavan has 6 attributes. That's why it's called Bhagavan. So Bhagavatam is Bhagavan. So it has to answer 6 questions. Numbers are very significant in Bhagavatam. Lakshmi Devi's avatar, you know where it happens? 8th canto, 8th chapter, 8th verse. So it is not randomly they made it into chapters and skandhas. It's all done in a perfectly divine way because this is Krishna himself. Ashta Lakshmi, so 8th canto, 8th chapter, 8th verse. That's where from Shirabdi, our Lakshmi Devi, Avirbhava happens in Bhagavatam. So here 6 questions he has, and he's asking his Guru, Yat Shrotavyam Atojapyam Yat Kartavyam Rubif Prabho Smartavyam Vajaniyam Va Bruhiyatva Viparyayam. He says, what should I listen to? What should I do bhajans of? What are the karma I have to do? And what is the smartavyam? What do I meditate on? And what do I do the bhajani? What do I do the bhajan on? And what all should I avoid? Very important, you see. Bruhiyatva viparya. What is that I should avoid? 6 questions he asked. And then, with tremendous humility, it is said in our Upanishad, a disciple should be always samit pani. Samit pani means when you go to a guru, you take a little bit of samit, dry sticks for the yajna, give it to the guru and prostrate. Adi Shankara Bhagavad brings in a beautiful interpretation. Samit pani means hand. Samit pani. Go with humility and prostrate to him. That's the only way for you to get some knowledge from him. The guru is no obligation to answer our questions. He has nothing to do with this. See, when we question with humility. See, that's what Bhagavan says Arjuna also, isn't it? Pariprashnena sevaya. So he begs Sukamuni to answer the 6 questions. I have only 7 days, Sukamuni, and I know that you don't stay in a place for more than a few seconds. And so please bless me in such a way that I attain the purpose of life. And I thought Krishna was upset with me because of Bhagavata Prachara, but now I know that he is not. Because if he is upset with me, would he ever introduce such a great Mahatma in my life? So Krishna is very happy with me. This itself is an indication. Sukamuni is very happy. How do you show your happiness? First of all, he goes and congratulates Parikshit for his question. Variyani eshate prashnaha. This is how Bhagavatam of Shukamuni, the 2nd canto, starts. First canto is introduction. 2nd canto is Shuka Bhagavatam. Shukamuni starts. Shuka uvacha variyani eshate prashnaha kruto lokajitam nrupa atmavit sammatam pumsam srotavyadi shriyaparaha. He says, you have asked what should I listen to, what should I do and all that. But Parikshit, when you ask this question, you have to tell me where you want to go. If you want to be the richest person, what should you listen to is very different. You see? If you want to know this Dharma, check out Dharma, then there are a lot of books for you to read. So first we have to say what do you want before saying what should I listen to, what do I want and all that. So here beautifully he is saying, Srotavyadhini Rajendra Nurnam Santi Sahasrashaha. Things which you need to listen to is manifold, millions, thousands. There is a lot of things to listen to, Rajendra. But if you want Atma Sakshatkara, if you want Atma Labha, if you want Krishna Charana, there is only a very few things to listen to. That's more than enough for you. If you know Krishna, that Nama, that's enough for you to go up to Krishna Charana. If you know Rama Nama, that's enough for you to become the highest yogi. You see, you don't need to do all these things. You don't have to go through libraries. You just have to keep chanting a given name and that can take you there. You can create a library out of it. See? So he goes on to say, your question is so beautiful. Wonderful question you asked. Parikshit asked 6 questions. And Shukamuni is celebrating 1 question. You see, that's the beauty. Variyan yeshate prashnaha, singular. When Parikshit asks 6 questions. Why? Because saranga iva saravuk. Parikshit, you are asking what I need to do. You have only 7 days. Only one thing you can do. Just keep quiet and listen to me. That first question you asked, what should I listen to, is the only question I have considered. The rest you can't do. Okay, don't worry about it. Just sit down and listen, I'll take care of you. That's why he is using the word singular. That's why every word is very significant in Bhagavad. That question you asked, Parikshit, is fantastic. You asked, what should I listen to? Nah? The moment I heard that question, I didn't listen to the rest of your questions because that is not Sara. Why are you always thinking, what should I do? I leave that I got this wonderful mail from a forward community person. You know forward community, right? Being in India, I'm sure you know it. Forward community is a special community where members of that community forward emails without reading it. And many times I read the email and I said, this is a fantastic email. You said, oh, you read it? Is it good? Shall I read? And I call them forward community. Forward. So I got a wonderful mail from a forward community person. And it said, a person went and begged God, I want happiness. The God said, it's so simple. Drop the I, which is the ego. Drop the want, which is the desire. What remains is happiness for me, you see. So here we told Parikshit, what should I do? Hey, spirituality has nothing to do with you, Parikshit. It has everything to do with Krishna. Listening is only the activity where it is not egocentric, you see. Listening is the only activity which can be done without the intervention of ego. That's why listening itself is enough for us to attain the highest state of yoga, highest state of jnana. Just listen, says Bhagavad. That's why it's the essence of all scriptures. And Shukamuni says, hey Parikshit, there was a rishi by the name Katlanga. 48 minutes he attained the Lord, you see. And you have 7 days, a lot of time, don't worry. He'll do it very nicely, slowly, elaborately for you. And I'll do it in such a way that you can't remember anybody else but Krishna. I'll ensure that. It's my job, not yours. You just keep quiet and listen. Let me do the job. You see? Many times when people come to a guru and say, what should I do to attain realization? You don't do anything at all. Allow me to do that job. Just keep quiet, you see. I do is the whole problem, isn't it? So he says that. And that's how you encourage people. The moment you say, I have 7 days, oh, you have 7 days only. What will happen to you? He's encouraging him to say, 48 minutes is enough for action. 7 days is a lot of time, don't worry. And then he gives the highest teaching of Bhagavatam. He's saying that Paradharma, the highest dharma, Parikshit, is Etavan Sankhya Yogabhyam Swadharma Parinishthaya Janmalava Parapumsam Ante Narayana Smriti. Whether you do Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, whatever yoga you may think of, you know what it should lead to finally? It should lead to Ante Narayana Smriti. Finally, it should lead to remembering Narayana. The time when we leave the body, you leave the body not worried about family and all that, as if we supported them. Each one comes with their own background, each one comes with their own papa and punya, they have to take care of them, we are only facilitators. The moment I leave the body, Narayana, if you can live like that, Janma Labha Para. That is the Labha of Janma. But here, the commentary is beautiful. Because Ramanujamji was told by our Perumal, Kanchi, Varadaraja Perumal, even Antima Smriti is not required for my devotees. So Ante Narayana Smriti is now commented upon as do something in your life in such a way that Narayana remembers you in your last time. Ante Narayana Smriti. In the Smriti of Narayana, be there. Do something. Even if you do something very small, he will remember because he has a very good memory. Even if you put a small rangoli before Bhagavan during Utsava and says Narayana Arpanamastu, Krishna Arpanamastu, he will remember that. But remember one thing. Krishna Arpanamastu is different from Loka Arpanamastu. The moment you put a rangoli and say, how did you like my rangoli? Finish. It's not Krishna Arpanamastu. It is Loka Arpanamastu. You have to understand this. Even smallest connection to Bhagavan once in your life is enough for Bhagavan to take us ashore. But should be done 100% for Bhagavan. You see, one little act, enough. That's Bhagavata Dharma for you. It has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with our performance. It has nothing to do with our past. It has everything to do with compassion and love and care of Bhagavan, which is Narayana, which is Krishna, which is Radha coming for us. That's what is Bhagavad. It takes completely any activity out of our hand. And this is Narayana promised. Remember yesterday I told you the story about Duryodhana and Arjuna? Bhagavan gives us the same choice. You want me or mine? World is Bhagavan's, Ubhaya Vibhuti, see? But the world is Krishna's. Because Krishna created the world, Swami means one who has Swat. Swat means property. In Tamil you call it Swat. Swat means property. The one who owns a property is Swami. And without property, Swami cannot exist. So world is Krishna's property. Krishna is not connected to the world because I and mine cannot be same. You see what I am saying? This is mine. This is not I because it's mine, you see. And Krishna, Krishna's world. Krishna's world is Krishna's. And then you have Krishna. Bhagavan gives us an option. You want to be Arjuna or Duryodhana. Every second in our life, you have the choice. Am I doing it for Krishna or I am doing it for the world, which is Krishna's? If you do it for the world, fine, you will get recognition. People would say, such a wonderful devotee. But to whom are you doing it for? For the world will recognize you. Krishna won't, because he has nothing to do with it, you see. He is completely away from the world. He does not know what's happening in this world. But the moment you do for Krishna, world may not notice. Krishna will notice. When we sing a bhajan, if you sing it for claps of the audience, then it is not a bhajan, it's a kache, a wonderful art form. Krishna does nothing connected with it. He says, you are doing it for claps, by all means do it. That's it. But if you sing for Krishna and not really worry about the claps of the audience, Krishna will remember it is sang for you. See, that's the basic underlying truth being Bhagavata Dharma. If you do really something for Krishna, Krishna will remember, he will take care. So here he says, whatever you do, whether Swadharma Parinishtaya. When he says Swadharma, it means the actual Swadharma as per Vedas. You know, nowadays we have diluted so much that whatever profession we are doing, we say do it, that is Karma Yoga, in a way we will accept it, it's okay. But Bhagavan did not mean that. Now Mahatmas have somehow brought it to that extent so that somehow we have to get connected to Bhagavan, so they are saying, okay, do it, that's all. So Swadharma Parinishtaya, this is my dharma, I am doing it, okay, do it. Samkhya Yoga Abhyam, understanding the difference between Prakriti and Purusha, doing Vichara, or some other devotion. But final exam, you got to pass. Final exam is only one question. What do you want to remember when you leave the body? Narayana, fantastic, pass. Or if you are slipping into a coma, Bhagavan will remember you, don't worry, because you have done something for him. Narayana Smriti. So he says that's what it is, Parikshit. So don't worry about what you did in the past, or whether Upachara, that is done. Now I am going to make you sit for 7 days, that's the time you have. I am going to give you Bhagavatam in such a wonderful dose that you are going to enjoy drinking Bhagavatam. But the moment I leave the place, you cannot remember anything else, anybody else but Krishna, and you will attain. Don't do it. Then he tells about the greatness of Bhagavan Nama Sankirtana and starts this further conversation. Etam nirvidhyamananam ichyatama kuto bhayam yoginam nrpanirnitam harer namanukirtanam. For those people who are very passionate about Bhagavatam, I will tell you a hint. Wherever our Shukamuni is using the word Rajan, Nripaha, Parikshit, Bharata, these are slokas which are very important. It's our own experience. When a guru is talking, when he's about to tell something important, he'll tell our name. He says, Ramu, listen now. And then it's very important to me. Likewise, whenever he uses the word Rajan, it will be a very, very, very important shloka. And whenever he uses the word Tasmat, Tasmat is therefore. So which means he's going to give a conclusion. And coming from Sanatana Dharma, I don't care who he arrives at the conclusion because I trust that person, you see. So let me get on with the conclusion, get on with the path instead of trying to analyze how he comes to the conclusion. It's a merely intellectual treat, you see. So Tasmat Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari Shrotavyaha Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Ichchata Bhayam. Hence, Rajan, if you want a state of fearlessness, Tasmat Bharata. Bharata means one who comes from this wonderful lineage of Bharata. Once Parupena Brahmani Rataha iti Bharataha. Bharata means the people of that land who are constantly attracted towards this luminous Atma Swarupa or Brahma Swarupa. Parupena Brahmani Rataha. Bharataha. So he says that Tasmat Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari. Bhagavan is Ishvara, is Hari. Shrotavyaha. Listen about Bhagavan through Bhagavatam. Kirtitavyasyaha. Ishwar Kirtan Karo and Hari Smaran Karo. That's why we say Hari, 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 Hari Smaran Karo. Hari Smarana. Mella எழுந்து Hari என்ற பேரளவும் கேட்டிலையோ பேய்பெண்ணே. Early morning we are all supposed to chant Hari loud 7 times. Hari Smaran, Bhagavata Shravan and Ishvara Kirtanam. That's what you need to do, he says. And then he says, Bhagavan Nama Kirtana is both the means and the end. People who attain Krishna will constantly chant Krishna Kirtana. People who attain Rama will do Nama Kirtana like O Ramani Nama Emi Ruchira. Bhadrachala Ramadasa. He says, I am not chanting Ram Nama as a medicine. It is so tasty. Ruchi. There are two things, hunger and taste. Many people are not hungry, but when they see something very tasty, they will eat it. You see. Swamiji gives a beautiful example. Earlier in Tanjavur, whenever you get a little bit of digestive problems, the grandma used to give a little bit of, jaggery and ghee together to eat. And that will take care of the stomach problems. It's called home medicine. So this little child had a little bit of a problem. The grandma mixed it. He said, I don't want it, I don't like medicine. So just try it. So she somehow forced it inside. She said, not bad, okay. First day, a little bit of diarrhea took care. Second day, gone. Third day, fully okay. Fourth day, saying, give me that medicine. Hey, your problem is gone. No, not for the problem. Now I am starting to like that medicine. It's very tasty. That's what happened to all Bhaktas. They start chanting Nama as an Arti, Artharti, Jinyasu. But over time, they develop the taste for Nama. Jnani cha Bhardarshava. Bhagavan says Jnanis are separate, even though all the four are fortunate. Why? They also do bhajan. I feel proud that these Jnani do my bhajan. Bhagavan feels proud when Jnanis do the bhajans. From all Sampradayas, people have heard Krishna. From Advaita Sampradaya, Sadasiva Brahmendra. Manasa Sancharare Brahmani. He says, mind, you please wander around in this land called Brahman. And how is this Brahman described? One without a name, one without a form. Who will describe Brahman like this? Mata Seki Pincha Alankrita Shikure. That Brahman which wears peacock feather on its crown. Because no other deity can do this. You see, only Krishna can keep peacock feather. If he says Chaturbhuja, lot of deities are there with Chaturbhuja. If he had said Padma Palasa Lokshanaha, lot of deities are there with lotus-like eyes. But peacock feather on to the little tuft of hair, that's only Krishna. No? So he says, let us do the sanchara in the Krishna Swarupa of Brahma. Who is saying this? Sadasiva Brahmendra, Advaita Anubhava of the highest kind. Advaita Anubhava is true only when you don't have body awareness. Once somebody cut off his hand, you didn't even know it was cut, it seems. 300 years back. He is singing that Bhagavan feels very happy. And here in that song he is saying, Paramahamsa Mukha Chandra Chakore. He is completely reversed the rules. You know, there is a mythical bird called Chakora. Mythical in the sense not imaginary. Unfortunately wrong. Puranic bird called Chakora. This Chakora actually takes in moonlight as its food. And all the time it will be opening its beak and shouting out and crying for the moonlight to come. So generally all devotees imagine themselves to be the Chakora bird and Bhagavan Krishna to be the Krishna Chandra. But here Paramahamsa is saying, Sadasiva Brahmendra, I am the moon and Krishna, you are the Chakora waiting for my song. Mahatmas can say that and Bhagavan says yes, yes, yes. So here Etam Nirvidhyamananam Ichchatam Akutopayam Yoginam Nripa Nirnitam Hare Namanu Kirtanam. Nama Sankirtana is also the means for happiness, fearlessness. It's also the end finally. Which means people who have realized the taste of Nama Sankirtana don't want to do business with the Nama. They say Nama itself is enough for them. And then he goes on to talk about the rest of the Bhagavatam, which we will cover in the days to come. So, as told yesterday, I can skip the 3,000. Okay, I can go to the wallet. Which means I think we have to do a bigger sacrifice of skipping 10,000 now. We'll see how it goes. Sadguru Maharaj ki Jai. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Kayena vacha manasendriya va buddhyatmana va prakriti svabha Narayana Samasaya Sabatra Gurundanam Sayyidintanam Dear devotees, we are going to do the Aarti for Guru Maharaj. If anybody wants to do it, it's a $51 sponsorship for the